Hey guys, it's Charlotte. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about something very important and very near and dear to my heart, which is books and money. It's very easy to look at booktube often and see these stacks of books being held up, and some of them are library books, but some of them people are presumably buying, and buying at such great rates that it almost seems unfathomable. How do you have enough money to spend that much money on books? And so I have always been very keen on saving money, and so now, especially given the times we're all living in, being able to keep up our hobbies and the things that give us satisfaction and escapism and just pure enjoyment, and that is our reading and our books. It's good to, I think, share ideas and talk about how we all do it. How I do it, just for an example, is in 2022 I bought 83 books for a total price of £172. Now that may sound like a lot, that may sound like nothing, given that averages out at like £2 a book. And I do that through a variety of different ways. So one of the main ways that I don't spend money on books is because I utilise the library when I'm home in England, but also the electronic library associated with my county when I'm away in Bali. And so that is probably my main way. My second way is that I have a Scribd membership, and that costs me something like £10.99 a month, and I have access to an unlimited amount of books. Other people, when they're talking about Scribd, sometimes have a problem dealing with the cap that's put on a certain amount of books, but I think because I read quite widely, I've never had that cap happen on my Scribd account, so I can easily get through 4, 5, 6 sometimes Scribd books a month, making the cost of that per book something around the region of £2. So the other way that I save money, and I have been doing this for several years now, is I go on to NetGalley, who provide advanced reader copies of books. And so I will go on there, look at the titles that I know are being released and that I want to have access to, and I basically request to get that book. Now, at the time, I did not have a BookTube account. I was not an influencer of any kind. This is not a platform just for people who review books professionally or have influence in any way. I think at the time I was applying for NetGalley, I had 5 friends on Goodreads, and that was it. And I was getting approval for these books. And so I thoroughly recommend NetGalley. It's totally free. So in amongst NetGalley, my e-library, and Scribd, that covers a lot of my reading, but I also utilise the Kindle book deals. So every month Kindle release about 100 discounted books that are discounted down to 99p, and these rotate out every month. So the first of every month you can be sure there'll be a batch of fresh reduced books. Often there'll be a mixture of kind of hot titles, the new ones, the ones that you're really shocked that they would reduce that book because it's so popular, as well as your sort of contemporary romances and thrillers and like the ones that you would imagine would be 99p. And then every day they also throw in 6 fresh 99p books, and these rotate. These can be anything from a big name like Demon Copperhead or Hamnet to a non-fiction to a cookbook. It's incredibly varied, and so I always have an eye out for that, because the reason why I only spent £172 on books in 2022 was because the majority of them I was picking up from the 99p section on Kindle, when they will be being rotated on a daily basis and then also on a monthly basis. Now, for those people who have spotted the potentially glaring issue, which is that most of these options require you to own a Kindle, you would be right, my friend, because I was very much a couple of years ago, I think 3 years ago now, in the camp of I do not want an e-reader. I must have the physical copy of the book because I love the smell of the pages, the touch of the pages. It's a very tangible hobby, reading. And so I was very much against it, and then I knew I was going travelling, and so I did not want to be carrying around a stack of books in my backpack when I probably wasn't going to have the space for that. I knew an e-reader was the way forward. And so I tried out a friend of mine's and I got on with it and it was okay. And so I was like, right, okay, I can ease myself into this. So the initial cost, I think, of my Kindle was £60. And so I know, again, that is an upfront cost. And you think, well, I could buy 12 books with that. But in the long run, you really see the savings of the e-reader. So for example, in the first year, because I track my spending on books, the first year I had a Kindle, I saved the equivalent of £600 on books. So I tracked what the book cost in paperback for me to buy, and then I tracked what I spent on the Kindle, the ebook, and then collected all of that data. And by the end of the year, I had a total savings of £600. So even if you take away the initial cost of the £60 to buy the Kindle, I saved myself £540 that year, and I continue, no doubt, to save myself that amount of money. I've had a Kindle now for 3 years, and so I'm looking at a total saving so far by having a Kindle of £1,800. I personally am thrilled. Not only does the e-reader give me access to Kindle ebooks, but that's also where my Scribd account is, that's also where my NetGalley account is, that's also where my e-library account is. And so I have 4 different ways to access free or cheap books on my Kindle, and that allows me to feel very free when I'm then in a situation where I come across a new release like I did the other day, and it's £9.99 and I can't find it on any other platform. It's not on any of my free platforms that I would normally try, and it's £9.99 on Kindle, and it enables me to feel so much better about splurging on a book that I'm really desperate to have, when I know that the savings that I'm making throughout the year are in the hundreds. And so I know that I can have the luxury of a brand new £10 book very occasionally. As you can probably tell, because I've spoken about this for 10 minutes now, I'm incredibly passionate about this subject. Please, if you have anything you would like to share in the comments down below, for everybody else, how you budget for books, what you spend on books, if you would like to disclose that. I mean, no pressure to disclose that. And also how the free ways that you share and utilise books. So I know things like book clubs tend to circulate books, friendship groups. I'm forever seeing pop up little pigeonhole type, cubbyhole type things full of free books that people can take in coffee shops and libraries and outside bookshops that are donating books and that sort of thing. I really feel like there are plenty of free ways to read. Try not to be kind of feel that everyone on BookTube is buying like 10 brand new hardbacks a month, because I'm certainly not. I'm not even buying one brand new hardback a year, I don't think. But I'm still reading a lot of books. So just for reference, in 2020 I read 100 books, in 2021 I read 185 books, in 2022 I read 115 books. So I'm getting through a ton of books and spending relatively little amounts of money on them, because I think that reading, if anything, should be accessible, it should be fun, and it most certainly should not break the bank. So I will see you in the next video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed me rambling on, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye, guys.